Sideline of goal! Lakewood are doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down 30. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive! Wait, check his line. He's going one side. He's going a second. He's taking it back. Oh my God! On three! They're all dead!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Summit 2 by G2A.com America. We are in day number 8 and we have made our way into game number 3 of 5 today. 5 best of ones for you. This matchup, it's going to be the Gerg squad, also known as Ham Ham Clubhouse, and they're going to be taking on NaviUS. Now NaviUS, a team that was pretty much favored to almost take the whole thing, have been having a bit of hot and cold success given they have recently acquired the addition of Ush from SNA. We were expecting them to be really on point with this one, but they're still trying to find their groove. And, well, Gnome friend here, you're going to have to go. Stop browsing at Twitch chat, my Gnome friend. Let's just go ahead and get that laptop out of here. Get that out of here. You got to go. And instead, I am actually going to be joined by a co-caster today. We're going to go ahead and bring in a kitten and a cup. Back once more. Joining my side. A lot of feedback expected from this one. Let's go ahead and without further ado, we'll just throw ourselves into the draft at hand here. And as you can see, it is NaviUS who did take advantage of the first pick. And that first pick is going to be spent on the Skywrath Mage, which I would more than wager is going to be Fogged. He's been playing this Skywrath Mage like off the charts. But, you know, I tell you what, I've been itching for Fogg to make his return into more of a core position. I mean, yesterday I had the pleasure of playing with the guy. He still can play a Sand King like no one else. So, you know, we'll see if it's something they eventually consider. The role changes have been very much real. I mean, if you don't already know what's been happening, with Ush coming in, he has taken over as the point man, the #1 position, their core carry. And this has put Snake King now into the off-lane position where he is typically picking up, you know, your Tide Hunters, your Centaurs as of recently. And then Korok is going to be the one to play the mid game. Now, right on cue, they do grab a Sand King. And that goes without saying that, you know, I'd like to see Fogg play Sand King once more, but more than likely this is going to be Way2, who's also phenomenal on the support play, playing the Sand King role. So with the support foundation already grabbed here for NaviUS, it's a strong start from them, and it doesn't really give away a lot of information, just more so they have a great gap closer and a double set of lockdown that can already work nicely with the Mystic Flare there. We can still see if they want to enhance this further by grabbing the Faceless Void, who's actually still available in the pool. And the side of Gerg squad, though, they get Mr. Ogre McGee. Ogre Magi is going to be the first grab. The first time we'll get to see him today. A lot of teams, man, they damn love this hero now. Used to be like a spicy pickup, but now I'm already seeing it so much. It's getting ridiculous, and I'm starting to think more and more that this guy needs a bra or something, because he's pretty big. You know, with the stat, naked, 7 armor, 2.5 health regen. It's ridiculous. His zoning capabilities are out of control. He can club anyone out of the lane. And he's one of the few heroes, like a Jakiro, which they also grab, has the benefit from not only having a stun, but having a slow as well. So you got 2 different stuns, 2 different slows already in just your first 2 heroes, and 2 heroes who have 2 heads. So believe it or not, Gerg squad rolling with the 4-headed lane potentially. I think they actually did it recently on the Dire side, throwing that in the off-lane position. And it actually had a pretty prominent start. There was a lot of harassment. Obviously, Ignite and Liquid Fire can go pretty far as creating a serious set of barbecue, but we'll have to see indeed if that's going to be something they roll with. Jakiro already adds a lot as far as pushing potential, and even they could benefit from something like a Faceless Void. With a reasonable lockdown, he can deal heavy damage with that Macro Pyre and Ice Path follow-up. But we'll have to see how it goes here, as pretty much not a whole lot of information gave away. Both teams first securing support first and foremost. Now, Gerg squad followed this up with a Mirana, which now leaves a lot of different options on the table. In fact, all 3 of these heroes on Gerg, Ogre Magi, Jakiro, and Mirana, can also be played as a core. We've seen Ogre Magi ran as a mid laner from Root Gaming. Even SNA have also puts TC in the mid lane as an Ogre, opting to rush an Agnum Scepter early and dishing out huge heavy burst stun and damage, which can never be underestimated. And more teams are seeing that now. I mean, we weren't seeing Ogre a whole lot, but now these teams are starting to recognize that the damage potential can be quite ridiculous. And Jakiro as well, man. I mean, EG in the hands of someone like Fear or even Universe in the offlane can run Jakiro as a nice core role. If he gets a hold of a Yules pretty quickly, you have a lot of lockdown potential there and some secure damage that can do very nice work. And Marana, I mean, what else is there to say? She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She lands arrows. She can do big damage. She's almost a semi kind of core carry, but you know, we saw Ush play it in one of the previous games, and they're kind of still making their strategy pretty, you know, to be determined. NaviUS, though, they could be giving away a lot right here. When they ban out the Morphling, the Lycan, the Brew, as well as a Timber Saw, they might go with something heavy burst. They might even consider something that can be like more of a melee kind of core carry. Gerg squad, by the way, on their bans, they got rid of that Razor, they got rid of the Nature's Prophet, and also the Watermelon Man, Mr. Tidehunter. Now it looks like NaviUS are indeed going to hop on the Faceless Void, like we said, and they're going to have the full peanut butter and jelly right there. The Faceless Void Skywrath Mage. Doesn't get much better than that, and even your biggest, baddest Ogre Magi or tanky, beefy support like a Centaur, let's say, can crumble very quickly to that. And even last game we saw in the hands of Complexity what they could do with a nice Faceless Void setup and a good follow-up.
10 seconds
and it's looking pretty similar to what we had before. In fact, this is Complexity's same draft thus far that they ran just last game. So, I mean, we'll see if they push on in and forward. You know, and I'll have to say the same things I said before. I mean, at this point, you might want to consider your core carry to be someone of the range side. You know, Gyrocopter was what Complexity considered. Weaver is also another prominent option that's out there. But as far as what Ush feels comfortable playing, that could be something different. He's more of a guy who likes to play, you know, Tony. He loves Naga. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do to round things out. Gerg squad, with Marana, they don't have a lockdown follow-up, so if they kind of keep going down this road of hefty intel to kind of add to Marana, it could prove to be quite troublesome in the late game for them. So I'm curious to see where they're going to look to take it from here. They're really starting to dip into the reserve time, however. 49 seconds left to go. And I guess we could take this moment. If you haven't already checked out the Dota 2 Lounge odds, I'll go ahead and give them to you. Don't hurt yourself. I'll bring them to you right now here. As it looks like the odds currently for this matchup in particular, NaviUS are the heavy favorites. 73% to Gerg's 27%. But, you know, a Gerg can Gerg ya. And you never really know what can happen. They've made a couple of upsets in their own right. But here we go. It indeed will be the Naga Siren. This typically will be MSS on Naga, though with the recent addition of Justin, he could also opt to play the role, and he could play the role in mid lane, kind of that throwback style that we saw someone like Arteezy do from time to time. And seeing that Naga will quickly prompt the grab of Ember Spirit. Korok plays this Ember Spirit pretty frequently, and with the benefit of that Sleight of Fist, he can clear out some of those pesky illusions pretty quickly. And he's a great gap closer, high mobility, and if he manages to bring in significant farm, he'll be able to do hefty damage. But this is definitely turning into Team No Eyes right now. NaviUS, no pupils here located on Sand King, Skywrath, or Ember. Faceless Void, he has no face. So I don't know what the hell they're going to find out of this game, but they certainly are not going to be seeing a whole lot. Gerg squad, now with a Naga in control here, and this, like I said, could potentially be the Naga in the mid lane for them, depending on how they want to roll and lane it on out. They're going to need to round things out with what I would imagine being maybe a more secure solo laner. Centaur's still in the pool and available, and it wouldn't actually be a bad idea because with Naga probably going to be more invested in farming, they need to put together a pretty good four-man fight squad. Something that can bring a lot of team fight potential and even take it to NaviUS as 5. That way they can create a lot more space for the Naga to get that farm and really be a badass, because we've seen already, I believe it was the other day, the last game, Naga can pretty much beat anyone out once she gets to that point. Her final form, if you will. Getting a hold of that Radiance, Boots of Travel, building up a Heart, Manta from there, Butterfly, whatever. It gets out of control quick, and even your supports will quickly crumble. But luckily for Gerg squad, they have a nice foundation behind it. Even Bloodlust is going to help out a lot with this Naga. And the pushing power is going to get ridiculous with Liquid Fire.
5 seconds remaining.
So we'll see here. They're going to start dipping into their own personal reserve time. They used their last ban to get rid of the Storm Spirit, which was not going to be the center grab. And for NaviUS, they get rid of the Viper. So with Viper, I would say that they're not looking to get kited about too easily, which is something that Faceless Void could be susceptible to. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. They could still falter with a melee kind of core carry here and look to try to get it done, but we'll have to see. They're really sweating this one out. My goodness. Pushing towards 20 seconds right now. Gerg squad dipping into their clock as far as how they're going to round things out.
10 seconds remaining.
Remember, this is a best of 1. Everyone keeps asking. It's a best of 1 for God's sakes, people. It's a round-robin stage we've been doing for quite a while. And they will round it out. It's not going to be a mid lane
NaviUS's
Naga, it would
turn to
appear.
pick.
It looks like they're going to grab a Dragon Knight here. Even more pushing power. So you got your Dragon and your Dragon Knight. A lot of mythical creatures here, except for the Mirana. But regardless, he'll plant himself in the mid lane. Brax is well versed in playing this hero. Unfortunately, though, Gerg Squad not having Brax on their roster anymore. They're going to look to probably put it in the hands of Justin here. But a hero nonetheless. Very, very tanky. Has a nice set of lockdown with the Dragon Tail, but Dragon's Blood is going to plant him in that mid lane. With the help of a little bit of bottle crowing here and there, he can dish out big Fire Breath, bring in the early farm, maybe make a go at that Tier 1 tower if it ends up being uncontested. But overall, the pushing power coming up from Gerg Squad is pretty significant here. And it's going to be more pressure here on NaviUS to find a way to kind of clear out the wave as much as possible, which they have a fair amount of. I mean, you already have Sand King and Ember Spirit, so... Magnus, actually. Oh, look at this. The ace up the sleeve. And that's going to put Ush now on your Ember Spirit. That shoves Korok over onto what looks like the mid lane Magnus. Way 2 is indeed going to grab that Sand King, and, well, at least Fog with Skywrath. So, man, oh man, the last minute game changer here. That Empower is certainly going to help. Faceless Void, Ember Spirit will both benefit a lot from that. The extra bit of damage to take it to Naga. And with that, they'll have big mid-game team fight potential to keep the pressure alive. So, Gerg Squad, who are hopefully banking on having a nice 4 vs 5 team lineup if they're not going to have Naga involved. It's going to get a bit questionable because a nice initiation coming up from Magnus with the RP, and of course you always have Sand King there in the back lines with his Epicenter, man. They have huge team fight. And a Chrono. Remaining. I don't know, man. NaviUS put together a pretty solid draft here, and it's going to be pressure on Gerg Squad to try to find the space and find the time for their Naga to farm up to a point when they can't really come back from. But without further ado, we've hopped into the game here. This is game number 3 of 5 here for the Summit 2 by G2way.com. And I know, personally, Fogged and Korok, big fans of the Gergs. So a formidable, there it is, Gerg, from Korok himself. Pretty much the pioneers of how Gerg even came to be. Going to be going against their own good comrades and allies. So let's go ahead and roll through with some nice introductions. Snake King, once again, will be playing the off-lane position. He gets a hold of his Faceless Void, already going towards the top. He's going to try to block out this pull camp, or at least get close to it. So now he has all the intel of anyone coming his way, any early pressure, any early ganks. And it looks like mid lane, it's going to be Korok representing the Magnus. On the bottom, we have the trifecta of Fogged playing the Skywrath Mage. Way Too Sexy, who actually gets brought down very, very low from a potential early engagement. It looks like they're not going to be able to come out on top from the back end of an arrow. And he will be able to waddle himself all the way back to the base to rejuvenate before coming back. And that leaves Ush on your Ember Spirit. On the side of Dire, we got the Gerg Squad, also known from time to time as Ham Ham Clubhouse. Almost got their first blood. It's Pandago playing that support Mirana, KRS playing the Jakiro, and that leaves MSS playing a more core off-lane positioned Ogre Magi. Interestingly enough, he gets the early Stout Shield and plenty of regen. This is indeed going to be a core farming Ogre. Something I have not seen Gerg do yet, and we'll see if they make it work out. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's going to be Reality playing your Dragon Knight, and that leaves Justin playing the Naga Siren, so you're going to see a lot more of those role changes and lane switch-ups here. A lot of flexibility being shown here by the Gerg Squad, but we'll see how the payoff actually works out for him as we're going to see the mid lane clash. Korok as the Magnus is going to feel pretty confident in this matchup going toe-to-toe with the melee contender, Dragon Knight. But Dragon Knight, of course, can still find his own CS with that Fire Breath, and with Dragon's Blood by his side, he'll be able to have plenty of aid. And it looks like KRS is going to be using these Jakiro illusions to block out the signed pull camps, as you see that one taken out, that one taken out. This one's already done. They got the nice ward over here to kind of scout out anyone moving on through, but Sand King is already going to have a couple less camps to farm up later for that Blink Dagger, which he would love to have. And you're already seeing MSS potentially getting zoned back quite a bit. Same for top lane, though. Snake King moving on through, but here comes Pandago, and if they land a pretty good arrow and follow up with an Ice Path, even a Faceless Void can be taken down pretty early. And look at this. Justin even invested a level into Ensnare early on. So the lockdown is very much real here in this top lane, and Snake King could be caught out. And Snake King being Snake King, I mean, you really never know. Pull is coming through here for Fog on the bottom lane, brings that creeps well under the tower here for Ush to farm up quite a bit. And I was curious to see how they were going to pick up their core and how his interaction would be with that Chronosphere. And Sleight of Fist will definitely still be able to contribute quite a lot. And he also works as a good initiator in his own right. And Ush is a kind of a player who loves to play pretty aggressive. And he can get that done. But first and foremost, Ember pretty squishy at the start. Needs to build up that early reliable bit of farm. But I wouldn't be surprised if they need to consider getting a hold of maybe a BKB or two to start things out. They're going to scout out the rune. It's about to be 2 minutes here in the bottom. It is going to be the bounty, which is babysit out for Korok. He's going to grab himself. That leaves that DD rune there at the top, where it looks like Pandago is already rotating over 4, as Reality is about to get his bottle back. Once again, they are sporting, of course, that Husky Courier, which you can also get in the store, $9.99. That's right, the sellout is so real.
Double damage.
So very real. Pandago does grab that DD and will turn himself right back up to the top lane. Yet to really see a secondary arrow kind of fall from him, and he's kind of second-guessing where he wants to go. He keeps going up and down and up and down. And it looks like he finally commits to it's going towards this mid lane, which he might need help as Way 2 comes in with a very nice smoke, pulls out the Burrow Strike, gets a hold of Reality, and with the help of Fog, they might get their first blood here. But the arrow connects on Way 2, and the return fire, literally fire, takes out Way 2, and it ends up being Gerg's squad who gets the first blood, though they still take down Dragonite. They want more. Very convincing Pandago leaps on forward. Very bloodthirsty, but ends up handing over his own life, so it still comes out to the benefit of NaviUS with a 2-1 trade. But man, oh man, Gerg benefiting from that arrow and the quick return fire. And Reality gets a little bit of a first blood bonus. Slight advantage for NaviUS there. What a tiff to start things off. MSS now knowing that he has a bit of time on his solo here in the bottom. Happy to go right towards the CS. And he is at 11-3 in comparison to Ush, who's 12-4. They are neck and neck, which what started out as a tri-lane is pretty crazy to say for the Ogre to be right on par. In the offlane position, Snake King is currently 9-4 with the CS, as we're going to have a pause temporarily come out. Looks like there is a freeze, unfortunately, on the side of NaviUS. We've been having a bit of packet loss issues throughout the day here on the East server. So I'm not going to be surprised if that's the case, but it looks like we are going to get back underway. The freeze issue has stopped. And just a touch base in comparison, when you put that to MSS in his offlane, 12-4, he's doing pretty nice here for the Gerg squad. KRS is just kind of acting as the secondary support, while Naga is the queen of CS for now, 16-3, which is what you want. Meanwhile, mid lane, it looks like they were trying to make a go on Korok, but Korok isn't going to get caught out by anything. Pandago's arrow is not going to catch the mark, and he will have to double back from this lane elsewhere. But here comes Snake King right into an Ice Path and Liquid Fire, so some early harassment here. And KRS knows he might have the upper hand. He gets an auto attack, but Snake King will bully back the dragon and get himself back into the laning position. Now with the return of the supports there on the bottom, Way 2 scouting out with that Invis rune on MSS, and they're going to need to commit a lot to take down this Ogre. He is just really, really beefy. And he's leveling a 2-2 for now. We'll see if he invests more in the Ignite. Many consider Ignite to be more the reliable bit of damage, but others would rather press their luck and go for the gamble of having the big multicast Fire Blast to do with a little bit of extra burst. It being recently buffed, of course, to 40%. And he does get stunned. Way 2 gets a few right clicks in. Ush actually considering pressing in, but it's enough to force out a rotation, which will then immediately get canceled. So it looked like maybe Pandago was going to make a TP to bottom, but seeing that they pulled back at the site, he won't go through. And maybe they'll be able to fake out Snake King and thinking the Mirana's not top lane anymore, and could maybe open up with an arrow, but it looks like that's not going to be it. Naga's still well in the head, 26-3 as far as CS. While mid lane, we're still seeing the same tiff happening right here. Magnus Korok is 20-2, right neck and neck with Reality. And considering they did take down Reality, Reality's still able to hang tight for now. Really benefiting from the serious bottle crawl that's happening, and you're going to see him do it again right here. Little Husky, can you take that bottle and fill it up for me? Thank you very much. And the Way 2 will go for a potential pull through here to kind of keep the creeps away from MSS, who is still just level 5. Picks up the early Obra Venom, which works very nicely on a hero like Ogre. The tremendous amount of slow and right click that he can bring out is pretty devastating here. He sees Fog, Fire Blast, Ignite, wants to get a few shots in, but Ush is already creeping on over. And it's just going to be a little bit of footsie play from both sides. Nothing too committed yet. And Korok will head towards the bottom. The 6-minute rune is about to pop up here. What is it? Show me what it is. Come on. And it's going to be a haste. He gets the haste. That leaves Bounty at top. Ooh, Pandago overshot that arrow, thinking Snay was going to go right for the rune. He did, but didn't get there that quick. Grabs up that Bounty and will take it back to top lane. So it's NaviUS who benefit from both runes here. And now with Fogged lingering in this mid lane, maybe they're considering a go. Korok does have his RP. with a good RP skewer back, maybe they can dish out enough damage. The silence could be right there and not allow him to pull off any sort of stun or dragon form. Now that Ancient Seal only level 1, of course. They would have to get it done very quickly. And it looks like they pushed the wave all the way under the tower, and that opportunity is not going to be there quite yet. Wave 2 in the meantime, making work in the jungle. There's 1 stack here for now. Fogged is about to stack it a 3rd time. So that'll be a lot of a reliable gold for the Wave 2 Sand King to kind of build up and get closer to that Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, top lane, Snake King, pretty far in right now. And I'm actually quite surprised that Gerg are not looking to make a jump on him here. I mean, it would kind of take a nice arrow landing. If he puts himself in a position away from the creeps, you could see an Ice Path follow up with an Ensnare arrow combo. That could do some nice work and lock him in his place, but they haven't found the opportunity. And Snake King also, level 6, has his Chrono. So NaviUS could also do some good counter initiation there. And I'm waiting. I don't think they're thinking about a go. Meanwhile, Ush is benefiting a lot from this bottom lane. A one-on-one matchup against Ogre at this point in the game. He's happy to work with, as he is currently level 6. He doesn't have to worry about too much. He can just remnant out. Oh, that Chrono stops that TP Jakiro. He's not going to take anyone down, of course, but it's enough to stop the TP from coming on through, as now they turn their sights here on Snay. And he puts out the Ice Path. Arrow is not going to catch, just hesitates a little too much. So a bit of a tiff, but nothing coming out of it except Snake King removing Jakiro's TP from potentially going elsewhere. And meanwhile, MSS will bottle up that illusion on the
Dire's
bottom.
middle tower is
Now
under
MSS,
attack.
level 6. He does invest 3 points into Fire Blast, so he's feeling a little lucky today. I mean, if he gets Fog caught out, he can do pretty big damage to this weak little Birdman. Keep in mind he has 1 armor and only 644 life. It could be some quick burst. Meanwhile, look at this. They're doing serious work. Even behind the tower, Snake King eating big damage. Might have to second guess how he plants himself here. But we might keep our eyes on bottom because it looks like Korok is looking to get that RP to use. And MSS is going to be in big trouble here. He's getting caught out in a fight with Ush, and now Korok shows himself. Now, they do finish off Snake King in the top lane before that, but we'll keep our eyes here as they ultimately do take down the Ogre McGee with the help of Korok showing up. They didn't even need to invest a whole lot. Yeah, RP is going to be expended, but it looks like it will be an offlaner for an offlaner in the end. And, you know, as far as Mirana taking out the offlaner there, Naga would have definitely benefited from a lot more, but it looks like Justin is going to indeed go right for the Sacred Relic at this point. 1,600 gold saved up now. Not going to step off just yet for any sort of drums or Aquila. And interesting enough, went with the Arcane Boots. Arcane Boot Naga. You don't see that a whole lot often, but Justin looking to make it work here. Regardless, favoring getting a hold of that Radiance, which is first and foremost. And now KRN standing behind his Dragon Knight ally. Maybe looking for an opportunity to open up here in the mid lane, but nothing's going to be there. Very quiet game. 5 kills at about 10 minutes now. We'll take an early look at the net worth graph. You can see for NaviUS, it's just barely creeping around the 1,500 mark. XP about the same. And switching over to the per person net worth, it's both Korok and Ush leading the way. And Ush, who is going to be going for the drums, has his bracer on hand and almost has actually enough gold to finish out those drums altogether. Here we go, return fire. Nice multicast right there, and an arrow follow-up will catch on Korok, but he just skewers and takes MSS up to the high ground and away from his team, and they might be able to burst him down. Followed up with a way to Burrow Strike, and they need a little bit more. Multicast again for MSS. Indeed, this man is lucky as he takes down Fog, and they can't take out MSS, but now with Ush coming in, he does get the job done. MSS goes down, and a Chrono flies in and actually catches, unfortunately, Ush, but not Korok, so he dishes out the Shockwave. And with the right clicks of that Faceless Void, they do manage to take down Reality there on the Dragon Knight. So it does come up a lot better there for NaviUS, making it a 2-for-1 trade where some of the cores do benefit a lot from it. And they don't even need to use an RP for that engagement. So nice stuff coming out from NaviUS. It looked like Korok not getting caught out there with that multi-arrow follow-up and being able to skewer MSS deeper into their territory certainly helped. But as expected, we're not going to be seeing Naga contribute a whole lot in this game. She is more focused on herself. I am a lady and I need no man to find my radiance. And at that point, we'll hopefully pull it together for her team. Because the mid-game can be a bit questionable here. We have a lot of selfless players here. Your Mirana, Jakiro, not going to be bringing in a whole lot for themselves. As Ogre, MSS here, who does get a kill, it looks like he is not going to be going straight for the Agnum Scepter. Instead, he has the Sage's Mask. So, could be a Yules. Very early making of a Yules. Which certainly can help when you're going against the Faceless Void, who is not going to be having BKB too quickly. And the extra move speed doesn't certainly helps, as well as the mana regen, which Ogre can definitely use a lot of mana real damn quick. Looks like Ush on his Ember Spirit's got his Perseverance already together. The early makings of that Battle Fury coming online already. As he's been pretty much doing his own thing. He's king of net worth right now with 5k. And second as far as CS being at 64. He'll benefit from this bounty. Nice arrow there, Pandego, but unfortunately it's not going to catch. Tried to time it out right on the rune at the exact 12-minute mark, but Ush just snags it up and pulls on back. Maybe if Ush had pressed forward towards the mid lane. Could have caught, but that's not going to be the case. Now Wei 2 does have his Blink Dagger. Would love to put that first Blink Epi to use. Preferably in this mid lane. And Snake King has a haste and is chasing down Justin, who has no mana. Oh, but he goes right into an arrow. Nice save right there from Pandego. He could have kept chasing him down if he wanted. He had Chrono up and ready. A few more right clicks. And a Chrono follow-up would have definitely secured a kill on that Naga, who couldn't even get the song off. So Pandego there with the save. Now Dragon Knight, you know, a hero that we were expecting to hopefully get some big damage on some of these towers. Still has yet to get to that point. He's level 9, and it looks like he's going to go right for a BKB. He already has his Ogre Club available, and near 800 gold. Trying to pick up a lot from it, while Korok has his Blink Dagger now, and RP ready to go. The initiation is already extremely potent right now for NaviUS. You're blinking RPs, you're blinking Epicenters, and of course Snake King on his Faceless Void already contribute enough as far as getting the party started. It's all about finding the right location for a party, though. Bottom lane, Ush is doing his own thing, but it looks like he could be in potential danger here, as it looks like Gerg are going to go for their own rotation towards this bottom and maybe try to take him down, but Ush will probably be quick to react here. He does get the multi again, followed up with a Dragon Tail. Can he find the arrow? He can! That might be enough, and it will be. Nice synergy coming out from Gerg squad right there to time out all 3 stuns. The convenient multi as well certainly does help, but it's more than enough to take down that pesky Ush Ember Spirit. And for the first time, it looks like he goes down, and Gerg squad benefit a lot from that. And with that, NaviUS changed their game plan from pressure on the mid lane to heading towards this bottom. Because Gerg are still planted. They want to take advantage of this Dragon Knight ultimate and get some shots on the tower if possible, but I think they're onto it. They see a lot of people missing from the middle lane, and they're not going to stay. And they make the right call, I think, and they pull back. Snake King has been pretty much in this top lane the whole game. He's almost got his Mask of Madness. He jumps on through, trying to get a hold of Justin. Now he does Chrono both of them, but oh no! The Epi does get a little bit of damage in. Wei 2 regardless gets a nice burrow follow-up and takes down Naga before she can get the song off. Nice grab there. Snake King gets a bit of damage, but they can't get the multi on that one. Jumps back and out with that time leap. And it looks like it will be just a solo pickoff. Oh! We'll quickly jump up and avoid that arrow there coming out from Pandego. And when it's all said and done, actually it's not done yet. They make a jump on mid lane. Reality, though, pulls out that TP after the skewer. And after the RP has already been expended, he just makes a nice escape back to base. So NaviUS take down Naga in the top lane, but will come up short on trying to take down the Dragon Knight in the mid. They pull ahead now 6-4, and their net worth begins to increase towards the 5k mark. Nice start for them. Ush will continue farming it up. He's got his Claymore now. Just a broadsword away from finishing off his first Battle Fury of the game on Ember. And then the farm begins to grow. Pandego's still trying to get level 6. That Moonlight Shadow could be a very good tool to have on his team, whether they use it aggressively or defensively. And Snake King, who has yet to really get involved with the team yet, finishes off his Mask of Madness, has 1k gold now after taking down Justin. And will just keep himself working here in the top lane. Naga's moved herself into the jungle. She is still trying to get a hold of that Sacred Relic. That kill definitely put her back a bit. She's about to have it now. And now they make a go in. They go for Ush again. Arrow, Ice Path, lands, multi. Ush is in trouble here. Starfall, can he remnant out? He can, just a little bit forward. He needs more distance. He's got it, but the Ignite catches. This could be enough to burn him down, and a right click will secure it right there from Pandago. They take down Ush again on the bottom lane. Reality, with popped his dragon form, is now going to look to open up on this tier 1 tower on the bottom, while Snake King goes on this tier 2 on the top lane. Justin's nearby, but he needs a little more assistance. That's where Pandago comes in. While the rest of his team battling it out with this tier 1 tower on the bottom, they feel confident just using the liquid fire and dragon form alone should be able to get the job done, and it does.
Radiant's bottom
Tower falls.
has fallen.
The glyph was already used. And now with Korok, RP ready to go. Might look to make a turn, but as you hear, Moonlight Shadow going to be called out. And they make a go on bottom on Korok. Korok gets stunned up. Ice Path. Reality flies in with a Dragon Tail, and there's that trifecta of stuns going to work once more. So much lockdown right now on the side of Gerg squad, and they are just timing it out perfectly. And they take another big pick-off right there, taking down Korok after taking down Ush, and they even things up 6-6. Well, Justin continues to farm the jungle. He might be in trouble here. Scouts out, sees way too, blinks in, gets a nice burrow strike. Mystic Flare combo, and Naga's done. With Song already down, she can't do anything about it, and will end up falling. She had already picked up the Sacred Relic, but still it's going to put her behind even more on getting a Radiance. A Radiance that's a little bit past its quota, and you would normally like to see. Now Snake King creeping through the woods. TRS is going to scout him out, but they don't have really the gap closing ability to get a hold of him. MSS is going straight for a Bloodstone. He's already got Soul Ring, and he's got the point booster, unless he just kind of holds the Soul Ring as a reliable Soul Ring and then goes for Aghnim's, which is actually not a bad idea. We could see that for now. Plus, he doesn't even have, his Arcane Boots yet. So he needs mana from somewhere, so Soul Ring's going to be doing that job for now. You see Smoke up right now, NaviUS pressing right into the enemy jungle. They'd quickly drop an OBS and get the hell out of there. Pandago desperately pulls out the leap as they get that extra bit of vision from the high ground from that ward. Arrow flies, will not catch anyone. MSS instead steps in the mid lane, throws out the Ignite to slow it down, and would love to get a hold of a level 11. A level 2 ultimate adds so much to Ogre as it is. But still, in the neighborhood is NaviUS here. They have a Blink and an Epi ready to go. Oh, but they get a nice arrow. That ward already putting in the work, and Fog has to say, sorry, buddy. And he immediately pieces on out, as unfortunately way too not going to be so lucky. Gets caught out and taken down. That ward already paying for itself on a grab of a Sand King. And now with Dragon Form popped, he gets bloodlusted up, and they'll begin to pressure down this mid lane. Not having that big team fight factor of the epicenter could be enough for NaviUS not to pursue any sort of engagement here and watch their tower crumble. Though Korok does have Blink and RP available, I imagine he might not be putting it to use unless they feel confident with a Mystic Flare, which they could. Skewers him back. Can they Mystic Flare it down? They can! And Chrono locks him in place. Snake King has made his debut into a team fight, and they're looking to take it to him. MSS does go down, as does Reality. Though they take the tower, Justin pulls out the Song at the back end of that one to try to get away, but they're not done yet. Ush is also in the fray, and he jumps on forward. Justin Ice Path not going to be there enough to save, and it is going to be Fog who finishes off the Naga Siren. And now with the turnaround, make it a 3-for-1 at the end of it. Gerg grabbed the tier 1 tower mid lane, but if NaviUS can get some damage in here, it makes a trade much more to their benefit. This recap doesn't really show it, but a lot more right now going for NaviUS at this point.
Dire's top tower is
Ush has finished his Battle Fury, and this certainly starts a lot towards his next investment. That could be Battle Fury. Could be Crit, could be BKB. These are questions. We don't have answers yet. And we'll find out. BKB wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, as you've seen the work that can happen from all these stuns. Whoa! That 4-step forward dodges the arrow. Ush is not going to be so lucky from dodging it. He actually gets caught with now an Ice Bath. They could burst him down here. Macro Pyro committed dual breath, but they jump right back in with that Epi. Way too from the grave. Comes right back into the fray, and they take down Jakiro, but Snake King might fall as well, and will. It's Pandago who picks up the kill, and this support Moran is now on a killing spree. Ush dashing away. Long arrow, going to be a little too low, and off the mark. And it allows NaviUS to make their escape. So it's a Jakiro for a Faceless Void. Not a trade that NaviUS really wanted there, but without their big team fight ability. I mean, Epicenter did serious work, but they didn't catch enough. And that will force Gerg to pull out their own Dragon Tail. And Justin, in the meantime, who did finish the Radiance, will start pushing down this bottom lane while using those illusions to farm out the whole Navi jungle. And this is getting to that point. For now, Navi ahead as far as net worth with both Korok and Ush, but I would not be surprised as the game progresses, Justin's Naga Siren will begin to creep up. You see it right there. It already creeps up to second place. And pressure could be building on NaviUS to make sure that this Naga doesn't get to a point where they can't even control her. Though they themselves have a lot of lockdown to work with your Magnus, Sand King, and even Ush there with the Searing Chains. They're going to need a lot. And pressure also could be on Ush to build in some extra damage to rid of all those pesky Naga illusions. Snake King does finish out his Maelstrom, and he already even has the recipe for his Mjolnir, so only about 1,500 gold away from finishing it out. Getting a hold of that Hyperstone. The right click is going to be very, very nice from him. DKB, though, might be something he needs to consider. If he opens up his own Chronosphere and gets caught out from anything Jakiro dishes, it can prove to be a bit troublesome. Touching base once again with the net worth chart. You can see NaviUS still holding the lead, about 5k, nothing too significant, but enough to keep them above the rest. And with still plenty of objectives to take, you got your tier 1 on the bottom lane still to grab here for NaviUS. There's a lot of gold on the field for them to snag on up. And Gerg move together. Are they going to smoke here? They do have a smoke here on Pandago that they could use, and even one on Jakiro, and they are going to blaze it up indeed. The purple stuff is out. It's not 420 yet, but they are looking to get in and come out on top. But they're not going to find anyone. Navi have already migrated as a group behind. They didn't even have a ward to see it. There was only this Gerg ward here. And they pull back. But they're persistent, man. They're going to go all the way towards mid lane where they could cross Bass. They will cross Bass with Snake King. Snake King is here and farming, and before he can even get the time walk off, he gets stunned in his place. And the lockdown just continues to be a very real thing here from the Gerg squad, as he is just manhandled by his own creeps. And with that, Gerg squad considers stepping back and going for Roche here. With the back end of this Dragon form and, of course, Liquid Fire, they might be able to get a lot of work in. Arrow also follows up from Pandago, locking Roche in his place. And they begin to go toe-to-toe with him. While NaviUS are trying to get something on their own on the top lane, this could very well be an uncontested Roche, and it will be. It's taking quite a bit of muscle here. A little bit of sweat to take him down as he just reaches the halfway mark at this point. It looks like they're going to at least try to trade objectives. And NaviUS will try to at least go for this tier 2. Mind you, Justin has continued to farm since that point. Has split off the those arcane boots and turned them into shiny new red boots of travel. Now just a good old reliable energy booster.
Middle tower is under attack.
But look at this, NaviUS are not even going to get this tier 2, and you see the Roche is now going to be completed. It goes towards reality. And now Gerg squad, the ball's in their court. They can get extra bit of aggressive now. And if they force out any of these big bad ultimates from the side of NaviUS, that's to their benefit. And mind you, man, NaviUS came to this game. They were the favorites. What, 78%? And Gerg squad, though, found a lot of lockdown work. Now pulling out the Moonlight Shadow. They don't want to stop their unrelentless engagement. And without a sentry of detection, they quickly pull back. They got vision. Song also flies. It only catches Fog and Ush. Arrow, nicely timed, catches Fog right there, and they're going to have to leave him behind. As Skywrath Mage will fall, and now Ush forced to retreat with the rest of his team, and the pickoffs just don't stop here for the Gerg squad as they grab another and bring the game to 11-10. And that kill, of course, going towards Dragon Knight. pushes him up to 3K gold. Huge, huge amount for him. I'm actually curious to see where he takes this new gold investment at this point on his Dragon Knight. And we'll see a spicy pickup of a Shadow Blade from time to time. He might even consider a Blink.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Siege is of the utmost priority, I would imagine, though, for Gerg squad, as they have a lot of it, and they would love to enhance that even more. And Ush, he is going to go for that second Battle Fury. Serious cleavage coming out here from Ush. Get this kid a bra. He's going to definitely need to
tower is under attack.
Do what he can to prevent the heavy, heavy push prowess of this Naga Siren and prevent any sort of early aggression and allow him to get to that point where he can bring it out in the late game and try to contest this Naga. Snake King, after finishing out that Maelstrom, he actually is not going to finish out the Mjolnir. He instead is like, I got to just get that BKB. So he puts that plan on hold, as it looks like Ush does manage to get a hold of Pandago. He takes him down. He gets caught with a multi and the follow-up blast, because that's an Agnum Scepter right now on MSS. He immediately puts it to use, and after Ush aggressively moves through enemy territory to take down the support, he gets caught out. And now it becomes a very bad trade for NaviUS. They lose their Ember. All for what? Support Mirana? Not a big deal. And MSS is now a lot scarier on this Ogre. Yeah, Snake King just goes to show, got to get those BKBs together at this point. Top lane, Korok pushing in, will put himself into the trees and TP on out here, as things are looking pretty rough now for NaviUS. And as the time continues, this Naga continues to farm, and look, and lo and behold, look who's at the top of the network chart. Naga's there. Now has a reliable Yasha and 1,700 gold. It just doesn't stop for this lady. She's a serious gold digger. Bringing in the farm from her own side. I mean, doesn't leave a lot for the rest of her team, but when they're finding nice little pick-off opportunities without her, it's just all the better. Way2 still trying to throw together his Force Staff on his Sand King. Korok, he has his own BKB. Shiny and new, full 10 seconds to put it to use. But they're not looking for a team fight just yet. Looks like Ush wants to finish out his second Battle Fury first. Very, very close. Just needs to get a hold of that broadsword. 400 gold away, and he'll get it. And Justin quickly has near 2,300 gold, man. Could finish out this Manta or go right for something like a heart at this point. But once he gets something like a butterfly, taking anything down, even with an Ember Spirit, gets a little tricky. And there you go. Moonlight Shadow going to be popped out. It looks like Gerg squad, they're going to move on the offensive. The Bloodhounds are out. And they're going to see if they can kind of catch a hold of any sort of lingering NaviUS member, which could be Snay. He's hanging by this tier 2 tower. If he moves forward, it's going to be rough. Why did they pull out the glyph? That might have been an accidental glyph. I think it was. Now Snake King here. He could be caught out. They're looking to converge here. They move on in. Jump in. Dragon Tail. Multi-1 and a secondary Fire Blast. And, well, Faceless Void is out of the game for a whole minute. No buyback available. And now they're going to open up on this tier 2 tower. This level 3 Dragon form. Huge damage on the structure. Justin's in the back line. He's ready. He's got enough mana for a song just in case things go bad. And it looks like Korok is not going to look to pull out a defense. Instead, he moves off and will just farm the neutrals. And I think NaviUS are just going to forfeit this tower. They will. Reality just kind of finishes what he started. And he gets that much more gold. And he's going to go right for a Mjolnir himself. He's got the Hyperstone already complete. And getting damn near close to finishing out the Maelstrom. Hell, even Jakiro's getting that much closer to his own Yules. He actually has it here in about 20 gold. Even the supports now on the side of Gerg squad benefiting from all these tower takedowns. And their teamfight potential gets better and better. Ush now. Desperation for farm. Ooh, MSS wanted to creep in from above with a Fire Blast, but he quickly pulls back with that Remnant. Could have been scary if he got a lot of multis out. Which, he's getting a lot closer to that level 16. Then you got the level 3 multicast. Holy moly. With a fair amount of luck, which he's gotten a reasonable amount of, you can blow the hell up out of anyone. Oh, no. Looks like Dragon Knight actually instead finishes out the AC. Picks it up in well-fell swoop. And now their siege power becomes even better, and their durability gets that much stronger. And the pushing potential just gets out of control. And at this point, if Gerg Squad take a pretty significant team fight, they can move into the base pretty damn quick. Roche has got a little bit more time till it's up and available, and I imagine maybe Gerg Squad played extra safe for that point. Or maybe NaviUS wait for that as well and go for a good counter fight. But for now, they pull back. Sand King finishes out his Force Staff. Snake King returns back to the top lane. Still desperate to finish out that BKB. Had he not already started that Mjolnir recipe, would already have it. MSS again creeps in, tries to get a Fire Blast, but Korok quickly pulls away with that Blink Dagger.
Vanish.
And look at that. Moonlight Shadow going to be called out again. It looks like the rest of the team are going to scavenge their own jungle to see if they can find anyone. Ush is nearby, but pulls quickly back. Runs into an Invis. Bottles it up, but can't use it. They put him to sleep. Ice Path, Macro Pyre. There's going to be enough stuns to take him down. The lockdown is real. And it is real damn good. Ember Spirit falls. He does have a buyback, but he is out for 55 seconds. Rinse and repeat tactics coming out from Gerg Squad as they find another pick-off and just perfectly segue towards going for an objective. Tier 2 tower looks like it's next on the docket, and they're just going to go ahead and take it home.
Dire's structures are fortified.
While you have your Snake King pushing out in the top lane, it's NaviUS who have yet to really make a big team fight and work as a group. And more so them just getting caught out while farming individually. And now with Liquid Fire as well, man. Reality just really getting it done. That AC... it's going to take this tier 3 all the way down. Tier 2 done. Jakiro gets the last hit. And look at this. We're back even, boys. NaviUS once had near a 6k gold advantage. For the first time really this game, Gerg Squad have taken the net worth back in their favor. And Naga continues to bully ahead of everyone else in net worth. Now it's 17k. The next closest now being the Dragon Knight, who's toe-to-toe with Korok's Magnus at about 13.5k. That's a big, full item ahead. Is she going for a Soul Stone? She's got a Fight Booster here. I mean, this could be just the early component of a heart. But with that energy booster, you never really know. Snake King, they don't get the RNG of a multi there. They do get it, however, with the Ignite. Snake has to pull out the Chrono, and he's fighting with his BKB on. And there's the follow-up Mystic Flare. It finally shows up. Fog gets there, but it's a little late, and they do manage to take down MSS with that last lingering Arcane Bolt. Was just the cherry on top to get the job done. Now a follow-up Ice Path puts Ush in his place, and they're trying to get anyone they can. A very low Justin barely gets away. And Moonlight Shadow helps secure their escape. But Korok, who was still trying to get a hold of anyone, they end up taking down 2. And maybe they go for a Roche. With this advantage in numbers and no buyback on those 2 taken down, they could go for it, but Wei 2 using that gem takes down the aggressive warding from Gerg Squad in their own jungle. And now they started off. Empower looking to come on out. Obviously that illusion going to scout things. Pandago dishes out the arrow. Oh no, it catches on Ush. That's a huge arrow, and he's going to fall to Roche. Ush falls to Roche. He goes down, and NaviUS looking for redemption, trying to get a hold of Pandago. That long burrow strike will catch. Naga shows up, but she puts everyone to sleep while Reality was trying to go to work with his dragon form. And now NaviUS, even though they had lost their Ember Spirit, find a nice little pick-off there on Pandago. And Burrow striking back on out and getting rid of those illusions. It looks like Gerg Squad bully themselves down this mid lane. And unfortunately this dragon form might go to nothing. Unless they kind of move themselves also into this Roche pit, which looks like Justin's doing right now. And they're kind of second-guessing it. I mean, not a lot of ults were expended there. Chrono's already back up and available. RP is there. And Epicenter wasn't even used. So, a lot still available. But still, poor Ush, man, gets caught with that very nice arrow thrown out from Pandago. And he just gets manhandled from Roche. And that puts him even further from his next item pickup, which it looks like he was trying to throw together a BKB. With Ogre Club already obtained and near 1k gold, he needs to farm a little bit more before he can get that, which would be huge. MSS now has the extra mobility of that Force Staff, so being able to get him quickly in. I mean, we saw a couple of times in this bottom lane where he's just so close to getting that Fire Blast off before NaviUS make the retreat. Now he can just kind of force himself forward and quickly get a nice stun there. Why can't I kick Cloud? Okay. So Naga still looking to pick up her next item. It's probably... It's not on the courier, is it? It might be. Yep, it's the Reaver. So she had enough money to throw together the Reaver. It is going to be a heart. And now your illusions become that much more durable and hard to take down. But I'm curious, man. NaviUS, they need to pull back a huge team fight at this point to try to remain in control, because Naga just continues to benefit from all this created space from the rest of the team that it's getting so much done without her. And, well, we are going to have a bit of a pause, as it looks like we need a moment for Gerg Squad to get something together. Need a bit of lag. But we're back and underway. MSS is going to kind of pull back from this bottom lane push. And pretty much the ball is in Gerg's court, as DK is also working closer to his next item. 2.4k for him. You see, as far as item progression continues here, Snake King grabs a hold and finishes out the Mjolnir. So that added bit of active ability could certainly help nonetheless. Still nothing happening at this Roche pit. NaviUS rotate themselves towards the bottom. Fog's going to be there. He's got 2 obs wards to kind of plant and provide that extra bit of vision, but at the same time, Gerg Squad smokes up and is looking to come in from the north in that area. They're not going to look to move right into the Roche pit. They want to see if they can get a pick off here, and if they can, that will secure an easy Roche for them. It's going to be popped in. Oh man, it's going to be Ush again! Caught out with a nice Dragon Tail and immediately followed up Ice Path. He falls so quick that, man, he is praying for a BKB at this point. But now out again, a whole minute with no buyback. This is just the perfect opportunity for Gerg Squad to move into the Roche pit and take it down. And poor NaviUS just lose their core once more. But all the better for Gerg, man. Gerg Squad making it work right now. Now going to have an Aegis in hand. They can continue to take this game as slow as they want, if that's what they're going for. And allow this Naga just to continue to bring the pain. Now she's going to be the one that holds the Aegis. And we'll see if they want to go for an engagement during the time or not. But still, NaviUS have yet to make a big play on their side to try to take this game back. They have so much teamfight potential. You're talking Chronosphere, Epicenter, RP. Mystic Flare can follow up with any of that crap. And they just can't quite get it. They can't get it. They keep getting caught out very nicely. The plays from Gerg Squad, making all the right calls as far as what to get done, and everything just keeps falling into the lap. So perfect that now it looks like MSS with a Void Stone could be the early part of a Yule's. Speaking of Yule's, obviously, KRS with his and a Dust on hand. They're going to smoke up. MSS unfortunately doesn't get that smoke, so instead they pull out a Moonlight Shadow, and they're going to continue to go on the aggressive and see if they can catch anyone here in the top lane, which they won't. Fog quickly puts down an Obs, which is going to show Reality, who has Moonlight Shadow on his head. So now NaviUS know that there's a Moonlight Shadow somewhere. They hang together, they put in the buddy-buddy system, and they're not looking to get caught out from anyone. They might just need to escort Ush to the point where he just farms up his BKB. Naga Illusions had been already running Rampart in the NaviUS jungle, so there's not even going to be a lot there for him to take. Snake King also building in over 2k gold, trying to fill in as a secondary core to the Ush Ember Spirit at this point. They quickly deward with the benefit of that gem and try to regain control of the map, especially on their own side. Korok using that cleave, farms up the mid lane, but it's Gerg Squad moving in from the north now, adding pressure on the last and final outer tower for NaviUS. This tier 2 at the top lane. Reality has already popped his dragon form, and the liquid fire begins to stack, and this tower crumbles so damn quick. Now with the Reaver on hand of your Dragon Knight, he is becoming quite the big boy. And he will continue pushing on through. And I gotta say though, NaviUS have pretty strong high ground defense here. If they can pull out a big turnaround, the rubber band could be very much real, even though the net worth is still relatively even. A big team fight here on the side of NaviUS could help them get some more space back. As Ush continues to push out here on the bottom lane all by his lonesome. You see Dragon Knight pushing on in. Gets the bad end of a burrow strike, and Snaking begins to really bring it on out. BKB popped. He's right-clicking home. Can he finish off the Dragon Knight? It's taking way too much at this point, and he can't even do it. The big bad dragon makes his way out. Justin pulls out the song, and they just kind of defensively walk away. Ush is trying, but he eats an arrow on the way in, and he gets slowed down, and Pandago now going to pull out the Moonlight Shadow. Gerg make a swift escape and do big amounts of damage on this tier 3. They are looking so good this game, and unfortunately for NaviUS, they keep getting caught with an arrow here, a sleep there, and now it's at the point where the Gerg squad have enough farm that's becoming too trouble to try to take them down. Naga Illusions are going to slowly siege their way in this top lane now to finish out that tier 3 tower. But you saw right there with Dragon Knight now picking up that Reaver and already having damn near 37 armor. He is not an easy guy to focus and take down. The Naga continues to farm her heart complete and near 5k gold. This is getting out of hand real quick. Ush, though, gets a chain on MSS, who quickly... Nope, not going to get TP'd out. Burrow Strike going to be there. And NaviUS, after what has to be at least 5-10 minutes, it feels like, finally get themselves a kill. And it's going to be the expense of MSS's Ogre, which I don't think Gerg are too worried about. Macropyre is going to assist in pushing out and adding space on this mid lane while Fog looks to press in from behind, and it's going to be a Diffusal Blade now picked up in the hands of Naga for what could be her 5th item slot. Still with that Aegis, however. It's got to be expiring soon. They could look to make an engagement here on the back end of it, but they do risk how the timing is going to work, and she could not have it in the midst of a big fight. But look at this Korok, man. This is a game changer. He hasn't really gotten to put a lot of RPs to use, but now he's got 2 of them. A Refresher Orb now complete on this Magnus. And 3.2k. Korok has been farming like a fiend. Much, much more than Ush has had the opportunity after he's been caught out a couple of times. He does manage to pull together a BKB, but look how low he is on the net worth chart. Their very own Faceless Void, and of course Magnus, even above him. Magnus does pick up an Invis. This is big. Naga's nearby. But if they can get a hold of her, they have plenty of stun, especially with 2 RPs now to take her down. 2,500 gold, long concussive shot, and the sleep's going to be pulled out right now. Fog might be in trouble here. Arrow will catch, nicely timed right there from Pandago, and pretty much all it takes is that illusion to finish off the Skywrath Mage. Being as weak as he is, it just doesn't take a whole lot of effort. But that song will be down for 1 minute. If NaviUS maybe want to try to make a fight here happen. 4 versus 5. Just not having the Skywrath Mage isn't too terrible if they want to consider an engagement. Still, as you can see, Naga still take a lot of effort even to take down illusions. Ush's double Battle Fury Sleight of Fist does a little bit of work, but they still need more damage out of them. As Gerg squad slowly begin to suffocate NaviUS back into their own base. They are being a regular sheep herder, making sure NaviUS do not feel comfortable even leaving the front gate. And this will be an opportunity for them to move back towards maybe a Roche as soon as it spawns, but for now they're just putting that hand around the throat of NaviUS and just getting ready to close their grasp as Dragon Knight finishes out his big bad Satanic. God damn, he's getting farmed. I think it's going to be real tough for NaviUS to try to take this one back. Big team fight is what they're banking on here. The timing is going to be so crucial, and it's something that Gerg squad has been showing very nicely throughout the game. Spacing out those stuns. When they get a hold of someone like Ush, the Ember Spirit, who's able to just slip away with a Remnant at any moment, they time out their stuns, and they're looking to make it work right now. And Korok 1-2 times multi, and he's quickly taken down. He does have a buyback, but he might need to use it here, otherwise they're going to lose their first set of racks. They quickly take down the tier 3, and reality is already opening up on this set of racks in dragon form. There's your buyback, and it looks like Gerg in really good position here. They're using reality as the forefront. There's your first RP. The Skewer not going to be able to bring them back with the BKB popped. Going They take down Snay, and he has to buy back as well. That's already 2 takedowns, 2 buybacks in this fight. And Gerg squad simply pull out the Moonlight Shadow and step on out. Unsuccessful high ground defense coming out from NaviUS. Now he does still have the refresher for a secondary RP. Oh, Snay has to pull out the BKB there. Catches 3 very nicely. And Ush jumps in with a sleight of fist. Now Korok jumps in, sees Pandago. And it's going to be way too cleaning up with a very nice epicenter. Now MSS will be falling next. That's 3. This is the fight that NaviUS wanted to take as they continue potentially pressing forward towards this Naga, who's on the retreat. Song is down, but Ush, not enough remnants quite yet to be able to keep pressing forward. Oh, Korok, though. Korok with a skewer and a force. Caesar now. Oh, not going to pursue. All right, well, regardless, they do take down 4. What looked like an opportunity to pick off Snake King. Quickly pops off the BKB, jumps in, and gets a very, very nice chrono. And that's enough time for the rest of the NaviUS squad to follow it up with the big epicenter.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now they secure a tier 2.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
The biggest return we've seen from NaviUS thus far on that defense. In the top lane, though, they lose the tier 3. No Rax's fall. But with Naga alive, that's still plenty of illusions that can come out and, well, push lanes from all sides. Uh-oh. Snake King jumps in. Handles those illusions. That Empower, man. Going against the Naga certainly helps. Anyone you throw it on gets the extra bit of cleave to remove the damage. Uh-oh. Snake King. He's going for the Ancients, but they might have vision here. He might need, yeah, he's just going to play the extra safe time walk out. That's good. Naga scouting in, figuring that maybe NaviUS were going to be going for Roche. He's not up yet. This is going to force Korok to pull out his BKB and step away from that Yule's combo. And he will make it out. This puts his BKB now down to 9 seconds. That's his first use of it, actually. Didn't get it off the first and foremost because he was locked down at the beginning of the fight at the top lane. And now with Roche popping up in what looks like about 30 seconds, this could be our next big engagement. NaviUS moving as a group here towards that middle lane. Same goes for Gerg. Gerg smoke up. And I think they're going to do what they did before. They're going to go right into the enemy jungle, hope for a pickoff, and then make it work. And they're going to turn the corner and head right towards mid lane like they did previously. And it looks like NaviUS going down mid are not going to know this is coming. This could be bad. They're going to flank him right from behind. And Gerg squad have a great opportunity to open up if they want. Force staff forward. They land the stun on Ush. They have enough lockdown. Force staff from his side though, and he pops the BKB. Will be alive. And Ush turns back with a nice slide of fist and does huge damage, taking out MSS. And Reality also falls. Another great turnaround here for NaviUS. And a big epicenter. Unfortunately, it's just a little too late to do the big damage. MSS does buy back to get right back into the fray. Korok eats the multi as MSS makes his return, and it looks like Gerg squad are going to have to pull back. The comeback is real. NaviUS don't lose anyone. Almost get Ush, but that force staff save, and I believe that came out from Korok, was enough room for him to step back. And now with that Daedalus, he dishes out big sleight of fist damage as we saw. MSS, who previously bought back, they're going to Moonlight Shadow here. They know that Roche is happening. They're going to creep on in. And there's no sentry down here. I don't see a sentry, though. They do have a gem. Gem's going to scout out. They're not going to move in. Just the Naga illusions for now. Uh-oh. Ush gets caught out. Ice Blast jumping on through is going to be Snake King. He does not have Chrono. 25 more seconds. But it's enough to keep them backing away. Where did BKB pop? Yeah, Snake King just popped his BKB. I don't know what that was for. He is going to be down another charge. It's already at 5 seconds anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but about another 45 seconds till it's going to be there and available. So Ush does go down, or not Ush, Roche. Roche does go down, and it will go to Ush. So even if he does get caught out again, he will benefit from the extra life, and it looks like NaviUS are on the comeback. They put up a really nice defense there in the top lane, and with Gerg squad trying to pull out a very familiar team rotation towards the mid. They can't get a hold of the target they wanted to take, and it's just another great turnaround from NaviUS, and they've always had this team fight on their side. We just haven't seen them really put it to strong use. With double RP still available here, they're looking pretty good. Aegis in hand, they're going to look to take a fight at this point. They smoke up, and now it's their turn to go on the hunt. Oh man, Reality's nearby. Force staff forward, blink. Look at the range that Way2 can cover. Now he does sidestep the arrow that zones them back from Pandego, but Ush is not done. He wants to press on in and get a hold of someone if possible. Now he does get slept here. Justin's right there to try to stop, but Snaking has a BKB, and he moves on in, gets a very nice chrono, and with a Mystic Flare, they take down Dragon Knight. Justin's going to be next. Nice blink through skewer back from Korok, and man, oh man, both King Cores go down on the side of Gerg squad. With a buyback still available on Naga and not one on Dragon Knight, this is NaviUS's first opportunity in a long while to go for objectives. They'll push down the mid lane. They'll easily be able to secure this tier 2 tower, but let's see if they can take it into the base and at least bait out the buyback from Naga.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And a lot of people out there who'd put a lot of rares and arcanas on Gerg squad hoping for a big payout are getting a bit more nervous now, I tell you what. Though Arrow does catch there on Ush, he still has that Aegis available. Ignite's going to try to slow down the push if possible. Snake King's right there with the right clicks, and remember, with the bonus of Empower, man, they are dishing out some serious damage. Tier 3 is going to fall, and now they're going to look to open up on the racks. They still have the extra life to work with. Snake King does eat the Ice Path. Ush eats another arrow. Man, he's on a serious arrow diet this game. But now with Moonlight Shadow popped, it looks like NaviUS don't want to deal with this, but the quick blink in, Yules holds Snay in place. They also lock him there with Ice Path. But still not enough follow-up to take him out. He steps back. He's got 10 more seconds. Those illusions, man. He needs help. He might fall here. Ice Path has to be KB, but he gets the cheese, puts it to use, jumps right back in. Chrono's going to be up. He eats one multi, and the sleep again will be there from Justin to slow them down, but he can follow up with a nice chrono right here. Arrow catches, though, very nicely timed. Will Snake King fall? RP Epicenter from Korok shows everyone right back and in. Snake King falls, so no chrono, but it doesn't matter. Now they're going to lose. MSS out for 80 seconds, no buyback. Naga out 70 seconds, no buyback, and with a buyback coming out from Reality, this is their last hope before they lose a whole lot. Arrow again on Ush. My God, Ush, can you stop eating the arrows? This is getting out of control, but he does get the Ice Path also. Korok shoves Skewer back. He wants to train a dragon, and he does. Jakiro falls, only 2 to stand right now. And this could be the beginning of the end. What a big swing comeback coming out from NaviUS. It looked pretty grim right there. Then Naga. So much farm. Fully slotted out. Nearly as it looked like NaviUS won't be able to get it, but now they jump through. Snake King is back with a vengeance. They get a hold of Reality. If he goes down, yep, he's done. 100 seconds, no buyback. Naga's back in 30 with only Pandego, the flimsy little Mirana support, with just a Ghost Scepter to her name. She is watching her home base crumble. And now Navi clean out tier 4s after taking down 2 sets of racks, and they're going right for the jugular. Arrow catches on Snake King, but they can't do it enough. Naga, I guess, will come back and sing her glorious song, but nope, they can't do it in time, and that's game. Nice comeback coming out from NaviUS, staying cool, calm, and collected. And yep, look at the bitter people out there who just lost out on a lot of rares. Sorry, kids, it looks like NaviUS are going to be able to pull it on out. Gerg squad, admirable effort. Fantastic pickoffs, man. They just timed out those stuns so well, and Ush just got the back end of it time after time. But, you know, Korok and Snake King still found plenty of farm to bring out huge team fight later on, and you saw it right there. It was an exhibition as double RPs, chronos came out in abundance, and Ush managed to throw together enough damage to clean out the rest, and poor little Naga couldn't really get to that point. So with that said, that's the end of our 3rd game of the day. Oh, say hello to my little gnome friend. Going to be a cat. There you are. Little cat cup. Anyways, our next matchup for today, our 4th one of 5, is going to be a matchup between Stay Free taking on Pain Gaming. Both these teams would certainly love to get a couple of extra wins, and we'll see how it works out here. We'll be back in just a moment's notice. If you like what you heard, catch me on my Twitter at CoddleGuy, but more importantly, show your support by following or, of course, getting that bundle in the store, $9.99. Appreciate it as always. We'll be back after a short break.